Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Super Mario Brothers Wonder. So we're continuing on through World 1 here. So here come the Hoppos. Difficulty 2-star, not really.
Never mind that shit. Here comes Hoppo.
Yeah, I mean, this game isn't really hard until the very, very end. And by the very, very end, I mean, like, a handful of stages in Bowser's world and the special world. To the game's credit, due to the way the structure works, you unlock worlds and special world as you go. So if you are, one of those kinds of people who really like a challenge in these sorts of games, you can get access to them fairly early on if you are explorative, which I think is really cool. But I also appreciate that the game isn't too hard, because I think difficulty balancing in Mario games isn't always the best, especially in the NES ones. But even like the new Super Mario Brothers games sort of had kind of wonky difficulty scaling at some points.
I can't even imagine, not even imagine, but remember choke points I had in the new series outside of like the special world, but those are always supposed to be
so
the
it's not really
like
so much choke points, and obviously, this is a completely different experience when you're playing the game as a kid versus playing the game as a grown adult, because like I tried to get my nephew to play new Mario Wonder, and he's literally 3 years old, and trying to get him to even get to the end of the first level while playing as Yoshi, where you can't die unless you fall into a pit, was a struggle, just to put it lightly. But like in new DS, for example, I've always felt that, like, due to the fact that certain worlds are hidden and you have to do the stupid mini mushroom thing, like you'll get to world 5, which is meant to be harder than world 4, even though you skipped world 4, so it's just suddenly a lot harder than world 3, and stuff like that. There was an example in new Wii as well, but it's been a really long time since I played that game, so I'm kind of blanking on that one, unfortunately. But I just think that the difficulty balancing in this game is great, due to the fact that you can skip certain levels if you're having trouble, and the overall vibe is pretty relaxed as a whole. So your less experienced players are generally going to be able to finish it, and then there is stuff for the more hardcore people if they look for it, which is, I think, a good compromise for this kind of game.
Yeah, do you really think that was
I didn't find the game too hard. I mean, I'm used to harder stuff in general, as well as stuff like Champions Road, which tends to be a little bit more on the 10 out of 10 difficulty side of things. I'd say this never tops more than a 9 in difficulty for me.
The only levels where it got really, really difficult were special worlds, and especially the final level, which we'll get to.
Really, I didn't find this last level that hard. All things considered,
I found it obnoxious, actually. I mean, again, we'll get to it, but especially the when you had to do the bouncy thing or the invisible section. I found certain parts of that to be just not fun, like difficult, and not in the fun, challenging difficult, just like the really annoying difficult.
Hey, it's Mario World music.
Look, Ted.
What?
Leitmotif.
Yeah, you want to know what's cool is when you hear this leitmotif once as a throwback, and then it's like oh, I remember that, instead of hearing it constantly for an 8-hour game and not hearing anything else for forever. Isn't that great? When you don't have to hear the same music for 8 hours.
Sounds like a good time to me.
Okay, so here's a question, John. Do you enjoy shopping in the mall during Christmas season?
Nobody goes to malls anymore.
Fuck you.
I think what you mean to say, do you like opening up a YouTube tab and going Amazon shopping on your computer?
You can't tell me that you don't, like, the November 1st rings and you don't still live in fear of Mariah Carey's shocking power. Like, you can't tell me that that's not something that...
Well, no, because So it's not even so much about the song itself now. I just get laughs out of just seeing her slowly break out of her ice prison.
Oh, yeah, speaking of, it's we're in the second half of the year, so it's starting to get a little thin in that ice prison at the moment, actually.
Boy, am I glad that she's in there and we're out here.
Wait, but if she's in there and we're out here and there and I'm a
Who's the caveman?
I
Look at these Koopas having a good time.
Yeah, are you gonna fucking ruin their life?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Well, let's see. I'm miserable.
Why should they get to be happy?
So, like, this is also part of the thing that this game does that's so that's, again, charming, I think, is part of the word of it. Like, I can't think of the last 2D Mario game to feel charming before this.
Like 2D or 3D otherwise?
Well, no, the like, Mario Odyssey definitely felt charming, and so did the Galaxy games. Mario Sunshine attempts to be charming. Like, whether or not it succeeds is up to taste, I think.
And then you fight Bloober for the third time in that game, and then it's like, okay, we get it, game.
Yeah. But like this game definitely, I think when it comes to the 2D Mario games, this is definitely the first one since Land 2, I think, that really attempts to have a level of charm in it. Like, there's like Koopa's wearing roller skates is something you would expect to see in like a Paper Mario game and not necessarily in a 2D Mario game, you know?
Again, it's the game emphasizing the whimsical element.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was surprised the game is not called Super Mario Whimsy. Not so much.
Maybe
like
for the
Wonder.
sequel.
Super Mario Whimsy.
Damn, another game that's abbreviated as SMW? What the fuck?
Oh man, do you think that they'll do another 2D Mario anytime soon?
Not anytime soon.
Not anytime
but
soon.
Yeah, I think that they would. Honestly, I was surprised they did a new 2D Mario game.
Dude, we got 3 Mario RPGs this year. I mean, I know like
They're all-
one's not due till next year, but
I thought that the Mario and Luigi game was due later this.
It's November 7th.
November.
oh, okay,
Oh,
this
really?
year.
That-
Good lord.
That
Yeah.
quickly? Damn! Wow. But yeah, I think that they understood that 2D Mario needed a break after.
After you.
Yeah, I was honestly really surprised to see them bring you back for Switch. I mean, granted, it's a finished game and people will buy anything on the Switch, so it was easy money, but like still, I know that in many ways U is a better made game than many of the other new Super Mario Brothers in terms of like level design, but I just can't be bothered to
Again, because it falls under the same umbrella that the new series suffers from collectively. I think if you was released like years down the road after, let's say, New Super Mario Brothers Wii, to use as an example, I don't think I think people would be less harsh on that game.
Yeah.
And I will still argue that I still think it's the best of the new series.
I mean, it's not that any of them are bad.
Yeah, none of them are bad games. But 2 is dull as shit though.
I've never played it. I was just like, I'm good.
2 lives and dies by that coin gimmick, and that coin gimmick is not very interesting.
No, it gets boring very quickly.
You get so many coins though. Like,
Nobody cares.
you can have
Like
a
it's
million
such
coins.
a nothing reward.
You can get so much money to have money.
Meanwhile, Wario's sulking in the corner.
It's the shareholders' idea of a Mario game. Profits are up 517,000%. Okay, so are we gonna reinvest that into some other element of our company? You don't understand. Profits are up by this much. That's all we need.
I'll give this a Wonder. This is Wonder's athletic theme.
Yeah,
Fantastic. This is probably one of my favorites in the series.
I agree. It's a great track.
I love the music in this game so much. There's a lot of variety and a lot of life in it, which is something that again, I feel like you miss when you repeat the same tune over and over and over again. Ba ba.
Yeah, I don't miss the boss at all.
Like, they do have, like, I guess that's, like, some of the charm that they were attempting to do in the new games.
Enter a painting in Mario 64. You used to be special. What did they do to you?
Wait, there's Ba-Bas in Mario 64?
Ba 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 ba.
Oh, those guys, yeah.
That's where it comes from.
You see, now this is going to be something that I'm going to probably get some pushback from, but I've always found Mario 64 to be one of the more sterile-feeling Mario games. Granted...
In what way? What do you mean?
Just in that I'd never really felt that it had much of that charm element, like that X factor that made it feel special or unique. And granted, I understand that part of that is due to a technology barrier. That Mario 64 is one of the most revolutionary games of all time in that what it was trying to do no other game had done before it. So I get that they were mostly focusing on mechanics rather than, you know, trying to make the world feel alive or special or cohesive in any specific or particular way.
It was also the first time seeing the Mushroom Kingdom in 3D.
Yeah,
So-
which if you know, like just
Mario 64 definitely looks and feels like a 1996 3D platformer.
yeah.
I think is probably the best way of putting it. But again, that's because it is a 1996 platformer. It's old.
Yeah, I think that's part of why you get so much of the Mario 64 versus Banjo-Kazooie debate. Because Banjo-Kazooie definitely...
It feels kind of disingenuous, though. Like,
They're going for different things.
oh, Kazooie also benefits from having a
64
few
to
years
spring.
into the N64's
Yeah,
lifespan.
I mean,
64
exactly.
was made as a launch title.
I'm not saying that
Yeah.
it's a fair comparison. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that it's a comparison that people make a lot. You know, and that Banjo-Kazooie focuses a lot more on charm, you know, than Mario 64 does. And again, that's because Mario 64 built the structure of making a 3D platformer. Banjo-Kazooie didn't need to do that. They could yoink that part and then make improvements and add stuff like, you know, a rhyming witch and doing a little dance after you get your power up and stuff like that, you know. Oh, you found the hidden thing! I actually did not find this until way later in my playthrough when I was going back to pick up secrets that I missed in earlier stages.
Captain Toad, we've been on like 5 adventures together.
I think that Captain Toad, like, literally thinks that this is the only adventure he's been on, and he's just never stopped. And we just, you know, after having gone home, taken a few months to kick your feet up and relax, and then Captain Toad's just still out here, and it's like, oh, Mario, still on that adventure to save, the rescue Peach from getting married, right? Right?
Toad, that was 5 adventures
Toad?
ago.
Still a captain, I see.
Never getting promoted to Major, are you?
Would you play Major Toad?
I mean, that's how you know it's special, as opposed to, you know, the minor Toad. Like, man.
Why is it always Captain whenever they name someone? It's like, why can't it be like Admiral or Sergeant?
There's Admiral Bobbery.
True.
I don't know. I think there's just something about the word captain that elicits a sense of authority that is respectable.
So there is like a reason for that in the arm. So the two instances where, you know, you have that kind of military structure, like army kind of movies and things like that, and also like seafaring things. There's both captains in those, although the rank of captain's different in the Navy than it is in the Army, because screw you. How dare you be consistent? But like in, you know, like your Save It Private Ryan kind of army movie, the captain is the leader of that like one small squad. So like on a more intimate level, like the captain has a closer relation to his troops than, you know, something like a general who's
A general, yeah.
And then on like in a naval thing or whatever, the captain's the leader of the ship. So you're like, aye, captain and whatnot. So you A, hear it a lot more, and B, it applies to two different kind of authority figures in a way. So it's pretty universal. Versus like admiral, I believe technically means that you're in charge of multiple ships. So you don't like, if you were a sailor, you wouldn't see the admiral every day. You would see your captain every day. I also could be totally wrong. You know, I'm not old enough.
I'm pretty sure we all went to. I'm pretty sure we served in the military.
Yeah. Well, you see, also we're all getting to the age where we're supposed to spend our Sunday afternoons lying on the couch pretending to watch the History Channel documentaries on World War II and then falling asleep halfway through. So we're getting to the point where we're the demographic for that, and we're supposed to know these things.
But there's the demographic of today still follow the tradition of the demographic of yesterday.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that once
you know for a fact, like 10, 20 years, when the Gen Z crowd gets like to be in their late 30s or early 40s, they're going to be asking, what the fuck is a National Geographic? So then you got to ask yourself, what is tradition?
I mean, but then again, though, some of these things I think are just intrinsically like genetic. Because I swear the moment I turn 30, I'm just like, you know what's really interesting? Napoleonic era seafaring. Man, I just have a strange urge to look that sort of stuff up, you know? And it's like,
you think you're so great just because you have boats.
And yeah, just like, I'm pretty sure that the moment that you have a child, you're just far more likely to tell stupid pun jokes. Like, I'm pretty sure that part of this is just genetically engineered into everybody. So, you know, I'm just saying.
You don't need to be a dad to tell dad jokes, though.
Yeah, but it's just once you do become a dad, you know, you're far more likely to, you know, to fall into the niche.
Express dad jokes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the Wiggler... Oh, he has like... Oh, you know what? I've never actually spent a lot of time to look at Wiggler's animations. Like, when you passed him, he made the, like, oh, shocked face. I know that there was a lot of work done for the facial animations in this game. They showed some behind-the-scenes development video of Mario's facial animations in this, which is also really strange because Nintendo's usually very tight-lipped with that kind of stuff. They don't show work in progress.
I think after the leak, it's like, oh, fuck it.
I mean, honestly, if they're more down to show work in progress things, then I'm on board. Like, when they said that they were going to have concept art for Thousand Year Door, I was like, I'm collecting every star piece now. You can't stop me. And some of the stuff that you see from like the 2003, 2002 sketches for Thousand Year Door is like, did you know that Koops was supposed to have an inner tube? Dude.
Oh, bullet dodged.
Bullet dodged? That would have been awesome. What are you talking about?
I like Koops the way just he is.
Okay, whatever, man.